My life starts off interesting enough. I was born in Panama, hence the name Elysia, but not because I'm Panamanian, but because my father was in the military, and his name was George Jefferson. And I was teased about that as a child. They would ask me in school, is your mother's name Wheezy? No, my mother's name is Virginia. Virginia Pryor Jefferson, and she was the daughter of the Reverend Thomas K. Pryor. So I grew up with the Reverend Pryor and First Lady Lorena as grandparents, which made me a grand PK. And so it wasn't easy growing up with that status. As you know, everyone is always watching and telling on you. Me and my brother, Curtis, was always having to be careful about what we did. So me and my brother's life changed forever. Our parents get divorced and our mom turns into something like a Foxy Brown. We don't know what's happening. And so I'm growing up, changing, start developing, and now it's just mom and us, and my brother gets older and it's just me. So that is the first influential moment. I'm a teenager and now I start going through these wild spells where I'm being just doing my thing in the 80s and probably doing a little too much because now I am a teen mom. Influential moment number 2. Not only that, here comes the second baby as well. Here's the good news. I get married. That's my next influential moment. I married my high school sweetheart, my son's father. One life, many moments. 3 children later, we have 5 children total. At this point, life is real busy, and I decide to go into the ministry while life is up and down. Many things are happening. I become an entrepreneur. I think I did a little bit of everything. Mary Kay, Beauty Control, Amway, Avon. I worked in the community. I was a community activist, so to speak. I was always in the newspaper working with the young people along with my children are mixed up in there too. I had a young at-risk youth program for African American girls. One life, many moments. There was trouble in paradise, too much going on. We were growing up way too fast, had a heavy load, and things began to fall apart in my life. Next influential moment, my brother passes away. He dies from kidney failure. So here I am. I've lost my husband, I've lost my brother, and here I am with my 5 children, and I got to do something. I have to keep going. One life, many moments. So I decide to leave, and I head to Atlanta, Georgia to start a new life. My oldest child goes off to college. I leave my sons with their father, and I head to Atlanta, Georgia. One life, many moments. After 3 years of struggling and wanting to quit and go back home, I finally scored what I thought was my dream job in corporate America with benefits, so I stayed. Meanwhile, my oldest daughter leaves college and marries her high school sweetheart, and my sons are with their father, growing up, but not necessarily the way I wanted them to grow up. And the 2 were with me, and they were growing up as well, and I continued to work in corporate America. I was growing. I was happy to be growing, but I realized that I couldn't get but so far without a degree. So I signed up at Mercer University to go to school to get a bachelor's in organizational leadership. I wish I could say that was an influential moment, but I dropped out because I eventually had to just focus on work, and I went back to work for a different engineering firm and to take care of my girls because I could not make it without money and go to school, and things were pretty rocky at home because I wasn't there for them, and my daughters went through a lot because I was not present in their life like I should be, trying to carry the load as a single mother. And to be honest, I was being selfish. I was thinking about myself, and I just wanted to do me, and that's what I did, and I'm telling you, we all paid for it. One life, many moments. Time stops for no one. Now my grandchildren start coming. My daughter's pregnant with her first child, and I still have a child at home. And don't forget, I still have two sons at home with their father, getting older by the minute. And here comes my second grandchild. My son has my beautiful granddaughter Armani, and now my third grandson has come, and that is the son of my youngest son. And so now at this point, I have to make a decision. And here comes my next influential moment. I decide it's time to go back home. I'm in my 40s. I still have a daughter in high school. Things are not the way I want them to be. I want to be home where I have help. And for the first time after divorce, my children came back together all in one place for the 4th of July, a time that I will never, I still remember. I don't think I ever forget that. One life, many moments. So I get a job as a property manager at a subsidized apartment complex. This is me at that job. I was always tired. I was there for 3 years, but I did come full circle. It was an influential moment. And the grandbabies keep coming. My oldest daughter has her second child, Adrian. So now I have four beautiful grandchildren, Andrea, Adrian, Monty, and Micah. And I had them with me every chance that I could get. Well, it doesn't stop there because my youngest son decided to have more children. He had 4 children on his own. And now I am at 7 grandchildren. And so my youngest daughter graduates from high school, and me and her father come together to celebrate her, and everybody was blown away because we hadn't spent any time together. And she's accepted into the illustrious Hampton University. It was such a great moment, and I decide to move to Hampton with my oldest daughter and my son-in-law to be closer to Maya, and I loved it in Hampton. I think that was an influential moment as well. I ended up getting a job there with a military contracting management company, and I was set to become the office manager. They were actually making my desk name tag. I was so close. Everything was going great. I thought I would live by Coastal. I planned on staying there. And then I was at age 50 by this time. And so I had a great 50th birthday. I had become full-blown Nana mom, 50 years old. I was looking good, feeling good. And lo and behold, here comes bad news. My father is really bad off sick. He had a bad knee surgery that he became septic, and we almost lost him. And so I had to rush back to West Virginia from Hampton, ended up staying there for months, which turned into years. I ended up having holidays there, and actually COVID happened at that time. And I just began to reinvent myself. I just started wearing my own natural hair. We were out in the country during COVID, and I just really didn't know what the future looked like. I was ready to just settle there. We had my grandkids were coming over and spending time with me there in the family house because we couldn't go anywhere during COVID. So we had started our own little business, got back into being an entrepreneur. And then what happens? While I'm there taking care of my father, his mother, my grandmother, Ruby Jefferson, dies at the age of 96. And I have to do all the funeral arrangements because my father is sick. Right after that, believe it or not, her sister, my aunt, passed away. They were very close. They lived together in their retirement. She passed away not long after, and she didn't have any children, and so the family asked me to handle her funeral arrangements as well as her estate. So I became the executor of her estate, and it was a lot of work. It was very stressful. The family was in an uproar because these were our matriarchs. One life, many moments. So because I was back in church working, even though it was funerals, she was there helping me. She asked me to come back and work with her on the radio. My mom's been doing it for 20 years, so I did. So right when I thought things might slow down, I get a phone call from my middle daughter, and she informs me that she is having her first child. Me and her father come together once again to celebrate the new grandbaby coming. At this point, can't you see how tired I am? I'm pretty tired. But we gather together and we celebrate our new baby coming. This will be grandbaby number 8. And guess what, y'all? Back to Atlanta I go because she never left. She's been in Atlanta this entire time. And so I don't know if it was fate or God, but here I go back to Atlanta. And I am excited and hoping that this will be it. And guess what? I get to cut the umbilical cord of this 8th grandbaby. His name is Nuvelle. And I tell you, he loves his Nana like you would not believe. I mean, we're just two peas in a pod. And so I have been here in Atlanta ever since. And so guess what happens? I decide to go back to school, and not only go back to school, but to actually move on campus. I moved on campus because I wanted to be close to my daughter and my grandson, but I wanted to be in my own place and I wanted to ensure I would finish. I needed to get this done. And not only did I get a place on campus, but I got hired in the College of Professional Advancement. And not only that, I did graduate. My plan worked. I was a student, an employee, turned graduate. My family, a portion of my family was able to come out and be with me. I was so excited that I finished this goal after everything that had happened in my life. I had finally did it. After the divorce, after losing matriarchs, I did it. And most of all, I was proud of myself. This may be the most influential moment, but then I made the decision to keep going. I realized that I could do it. One life, many moments, and life keeps lifing. And my son has his second child, but we also lose my children's father, Philip, and he names his son after him, Trey. And this influenced me because now I'm the only parent. Talk about ups and downs. I applied to the dual program for divinity, master's in divinity and clinical mental health, and I'm accepted. My mother was so proud, but one life, many moments. We lost her to cancer in December 2025. Well, I just had my 55th birthday in June. I've shared 55 years of one life, and I plan to have many moments in the future. Thank you for listening to my story.